Hello. Look at it. A carpet of leaves. Glorious. What a beautiful day. And what a beautiful boy. Look at that boy. Hello. Hello. What a beautiful dog. Hello. So you join us on another bimble, obviously. So I made a video the other day talking about, I suppose talking about everything that we think is more important than what's truly happening. It's how we think about any one given situation, and that's led me on to think even further, really. And the way I see it, I think we have two things that happen to us regular, and the two things are, quite simply, it's hope and fear. So whatever goes on, number one, we've probably got a choice, really, to a degree, of hope and fear. But even if we don't have a choice, it is what happens. So you've got, I don't know, whatever, your car's going to be MOT'd, and you've got a little bit of hope and a little bit of fear. Or you've got a dental appointment, doctor's appointment, whatever. And you get a little bit of hope and a little bit of fear. And I think it's more important, if you can, to try to amplify the hope part. Try and grab hold of the hope. Because one thing we've always got is hope. I called my second book Hope and Healing, because we do have hope. I was going through the healing stage after cancer and various other things, and one thing I had was hope all the way along. It kind of carried me through, really, to some degree. But now that's left me with various appointments and things. I had bloods yesterday. The bloods yesterday were to see what's going on with the iron in my body, to see if the iron supplements, the 3 months of iron, see if that's made any difference whatsoever, to do with this constant fatigue, this tiredness I feel all the time. So we'll see what the next stage is. So I'm going for the interview, going for the appointment, and look at that boy, I love him. Look at you, man, you're bouncing away. Hello, bouncing on the leaves. So yeah, I'm going for the appointment, and for me, the hope part is, well, I hope it's quick. Hope she can get the bloods. I've got what they call deep veins, so they do struggle, but I just hope it was quick and easy, and and then the fear part, you think, oh God, what are they going to find? What are they going to tell me? What will the results be? Will there be anything? Is there anything they can do? So it's hope and fear, and I think that's with everything, really, to a degree. And as I say, it's up to us to try to grab hold of one or the other of those. And what happens is, your brain is a funny thing, really, because we've got this self-preservation that happens within the mind, within the brain. So it looks for the worst case scenario and thinks, okay, so we deal with fear. So if the results are this and this, then we'll act like this and we'll do that and blah, blah, blah. That's what the brain does. And the brain goes into this protection mode, self-preservation. So the brain often looks for the worst case scenario. So it's up to us to try to prevent that to a degree, but to concentrate on the hope part, because there's always the hope. And nobody can take the hope away from you. It is there, and it's always there, no matter when we think it's not. So that's why really I called the book Hope and Healing. But we're talking about, in this case, hope and fear. So I think the hope is positive. Bode, come on now. The hope is positive. Hope leads you forward. Hope is a good thing, whereas the fear can hold you back. The fear can be toxic, negative, down. But just try to remember you've always got a hope, no matter what. I had a conversation just a couple of days ago on the phone, and a friend of mine said that a friend of his had bowel cancer, female, and she was really quite poorly, and they didn't hold out too much hope. Cut a long story short, 2 years later, and she's virtually cured. She's had all sorts of very intrusive things, but she's doing really, really well. So that's good, and that's a lot of hope. Unfortunately, at the Christmas, 2 years ago at the Christmas, she started coughing, and she didn't stop. And her husband said, "My God, what's wrong?" She said, "I've no idea. I just, I've got this tickle and it's hurting in my chest." So, Bode, please don't lick. And what happened? Look at the beautiful leaves, look. What happened was, unfortunately, she was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer, bless her. And again, she was very poorly and had lots of very intrusive things. 2 years later, she's cured. She's doing really, really well. She has to be very, very careful in what she eats and what she does, and her whole life has changed, but she's alive. She gets to see her granddaughter. And I spoke to my friend and I said about we have hope and fear, and he said, I agree. He said she never gave up hope, ever, even when the doctors kind of said you really should prepare for a, what do they call it, a poor outcome. Well, why should you prepare for that? You should prepare for that, I suppose. You should have that in the back of your mind, but at the forefront of your mind should be the hope for a good outcome. And that's what she did. And look at her now. So yeah, hope and fear. So we are just stepping into winter, just about. Still got plenty of leaves to come down. So no matter what, we've always got hope, haven't we? The fear part is, for me, I would say the fear part is automatic. I believe that the brain does step into gear with fear. Gear with fear, like like Kia Stama. Yeah, so the I'm sure the brain does step into the fear and says, well, if it's worst case scenario, then this will happen, that will happen, and blah blah blah. Bode, don't lick. Thank you. So if we can, we have to try and override that as much as we can by really focusing, concentrating on the hope. Because the hope part will lead you through. It really will. As I say, the fear holds you back. Hope pushes you forward. Fear holds you back. So when you're faced with anything in life, just remember that really. You've got a couple of different ways of responding to things. And I believe those two things really, we could call them, you can call them what you like, but I call them hope and fear because that's what I believe they are. I've had a couple of people ask after my lovely friend Lisa, who, if you remember, broke her leg, had a fall downstairs, a nasty, horrible fall. Well, the good news is she is doing much, much better. She's been through a difficult time. We have to allow pain, don't we? Unfortunately, we have to allow that to come and go, which it always does. And finally, for Lisa, the pain is now going. There's copper colours again over there, beautiful. But it's going to be a long journey. She's got a pin, like a bar, that goes right through her ankle, and she can't do any weight bearing at all. And if she does, she won't, because she's sensible, but if she was to, she could bend that bar, which could mean that she's permanently disabled. She could possibly lose the foot. It's that serious. But all in all, she's doing okay. And obviously the fear of what could happen, about losing the foot and being disabled and being in pain and bending that bar, there's a lot of that fear, obviously. But what Lisa has is a lot of hope as well, because she's a very forward-thinking, very progressive, really, woman. And she said, I'm going to do my best to get over this. Not as soon as possible, because that's ridiculous. That's pushing yourself into a place that is going to cause problems. And she's had enough problems, you know, you don't want to go there. But when the bar is taken out and when they give her the go-ahead to start moving and exercising a little bit, then she's going to kind of push herself a little bit and go for it and try and get over this as soon as possible. But she's very sensible. She was saying she's going to buy a stick or a cane, whatever you want to call it, which is very wise. That's what I've got. And I don't use mine a lot now, but when I do, I do. I do struggle to stand like in line or in queues, just to stand can knacker me back up. And my ankles, particularly my left ankle, sometimes can be really bad, and I find that when I'm walking with my cane or stick, it just alleviates that. It takes the pressure off, you know. And that's what Lisa will find. So that's what she will do. And whether that becomes a permanent thing, a temporary thing, a just for now, or a just in case thing, whatever. But there's a lot of hope moving forward for Lisa, as there is for all of us, really, you know. There's a lot of fear surrounding things, and there's a lot of hope. I see that Donald Trump is now the president again, and I'm sure there'll be some people will have a lot of fear over that, and a lot of people will have a lot of hope over that. Hope and fear. But if we concentrate more on the hope for everything, that's what gets us by, you know. And I believe that hope is connected to the little sayings that I use sometimes. So this too shall pass. That's hope, isn't it? Okay, so if you can get outside, because look at it, man. Just look at it. It's lovely. It really is absolutely wonderful. And on a day like this, where it's not too cold, there's just about no air. I can't see any leaf moving at all. No, can't hear any air whatsoever. Beautiful, glorious. But if you can get outside, then get outside. And if you can't get outside, like my friend Martin, bless him, he struggles. So you're welcome to join me on this lovely bimble, Martin, and anybody else. Yeah, so it's all good. So I'm still on my carnivore diet. However, last night, I was naughty last night. I decided to treat myself, and I had some chicken, what are they called, pieces or slices or whatever, cooked in like popcorn something. And you can either buy 5 or 8. So I bought 8 and gave Bodhi 3, chopped them up for Bodhi, so that was good. And it comes with a small portion of chips, so we had a couple of chips each. And then I had chocolate cake with a big chocolate thick sauce, creamy type sauce. Oh, lovely. And you know, I got no guilt whatsoever. I just thought, yeah, treat yourself. I've done well. I haven't weighed myself for weeks, but I must be 2 stone lighter, I reckon. Getting on, maybe just under. So I will weigh myself. I'll do that in the next day or two, and either it'll appear on my Facebook or in a video or whatever. Hello, boat. Hello. Hello. What a beautiful boy. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I don't feel guilty. I think if you're on any form of a diet, this is my first ever diet in my life. And the story is quite simple. I thought if I get over 20 stone, I'm going on a diet. So I got over 20 stone, so here I am on a diet. My weight prior to having cancer was about 18.5 stone. I've always gone up and down a little bit, but I find that that's quite a good weight, really, for me. So, yeah, I don't know what I am now, but if I could remain at about 18.5 or even 17.5, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? And then you've got less pressure on your ankle and everything else, so it's all good. But like I say, I don't feel guilty. The only thing I don't want to do is buy a takeaway too often. I buy a takeaway on a Friday, as you know, Chinese, and I can buy one any other time I please, but I choose not to. Beautiful day. Okay, so we'll end the video here. Going to walk all the way around these woods. So I just wanted to say that really. It seems to me we do have two ways of looking at most things, and I call them hope and fear. Fear is automatic, as I say. Fear is something that steps in to perhaps protect you in some way. I'll just show you these beautiful leaves. But the hope part is more important, because the hope leads you forward, leads you on, gives you something nice to look forward to. Bird, come away from there. You've done that before and you think it's land, but it's not. Okay. Thank you for listening. We'll be back another day. In the meantime, look after yourself and be well.